What's up, guys? Phaedo82 coming at you with a more in-depth look at the guns in Rust, and in particular the new ammo types. So as we know, high velocity or HV ammo has been added into the game. We're going to go ahead and do some tests and see exactly what that means for it. So we have the custom submachine gun here in our hands, which we know doesn't have the best range, but we've all grown to love this gun over the last couple weeks. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to test it out using the normal pistol bullets. So we're going to go ahead and load up the magazine with the normal pistol bullets, and we're going to go ahead and see the trajectory that it takes. We're going to aim for the bus in the Radtown area down there, and we're going to aim for it with the sights at this point. We're not going to aim up, we're going to aim right for that bus to kind of see the bullet drop that it has with the normal rounds. And we have the HV Viz command enabled, so we're going to be able to go ahead and see exactly the trajectory that it takes. Again, there's a little bit of a kick with this gun, but we'll go ahead and we'll take a look and see exactly the type of drop that it has with the normal pistol rounds. So you'll see the trajectory that it took from where I was standing up there on the rock, and it's hitting just about down in the area of this tree. Some bullets came a little bit over because the gun does kick up a bit when you're using it. And we'll go ahead now and switch over to the high velocity rounds, which are designated by the blue striping on the rounds that you'll see in your inventory. So again, to do that, you hit R in your reload menu, and you can select HV ammo. You do have to then hit R again to reload the magazine. You have to make sure you do that. It won't change over automatically. So we're going to go ahead and aim again for the particular bus in the Radtown, and we're going to kind of aim center of where those rounds were. We're going to go ahead and fire off the magazine of rounds. And the gun did kick up a little bit, but we'll go ahead and see the trajectory that those particular bullets are taking. And you'll notice that I did fire it maybe a little bit higher, but the range on it is substantially more. It is hitting the area that we wanted to hit. So with that custom submachine gun that didn't have the best range to begin with, it is hitting now in the area of where the bus would be. And that's saying quite a lot, guys, because the submachine gun doesn't have the best range, and that's going quite far for that type of a weapon. Really cool stuff, and it's really cool to see the exact path that it's taking. Let's go ahead and test out some other guns. Alright guys, now we're going to get into the AK and see exactly what that effect has on the ammo types. So we're going to aim for a target that's a little bit farther away. There's a base that's abandoned up there on the particular mountaintop that I built. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot for that. The Radtown is a little bit too close. The AK had good range, so we're going to pick a different target. We have the normal 5.56 ammo selected, so let's go ahead and test it out. Let's load the magazine first, guys. Always want to make sure you have a full clip. And we'll go ahead and test out this bad boy and see. We're going to aim right for that. I'm going to try to keep the grouping as steady as possible. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep right on track in terms of, we're not going to arc it up. We're going to shoot right for that particular building. So you'll see the trajectory that the bullets took on that with the normal pistol rounds. And they're falling about to where the grouping of the rocks would be here. So they're not quite making it to that base, and we can see the range that the AK has on it, which has always been pretty good, and it's coming just over where those particular rock nodes are. Let's switch over to the HV ammo type, high velocity, switch over to it, and make sure we loaded our magazine with it. I'm going to do that one more time, guys, just to make sure that it's actually switched over to the HV ammo. And let's go ahead and test that out. Again, we're going to aim for where that base is up on the top of the hill. And we're going to go ahead and see exactly where those rounds are going. So you can see the difference in the grouping. The high velocity rounds from the AK-47 have actually made it to the general area of where we wanted to be hitting. So some of the rounds have entered into the hillside here. We can see these yellow points are where the bullets have landed, and they're landing all around the base. Some actually even went over and dropped down into some other areas of the landscape here. So really cool stuff there. The high velocity rounds, guys, are really a big game changer. You can see the difference that it made there. Pretty substantial. So we were able to hit the base. Some of the rounds actually flew over, and it's all pretty good stuff. So if you're thinking about, are the high velocity rounds worth it? I would say absolutely 100%. Let's go ahead and test out that on the bolt action rifle as well. And now, guys, we're going to do a test with a bolt-action rifle, which is another widely used gun in the game. This has always had the best range on it, so we're going to go ahead and aim for a target that is not able to be reached. It's going to be for the sun up here in the sky, and we'll aim it. We'll fire 4 shots with the normal 5.56 rounds for the particular bolt action, and we'll see exactly the path that that's taking. So we can see exactly where they're arching up here, and we'll see that they're the trajectory that they're taking, and they are falling down into, it looks like, the landscape over here. We'll see exactly where they're hitting, and so we'll be able to test that against the high velocity ammo. They're hitting about, so they've made a fairly consistent pattern with it, and they've hit just before the landscape changes from snow to a little bit of the plains area there. So the trajectory that took is quite a bit, quite dramatic. Let's go ahead and see exactly what that looks like with the high velocity ammo. Again, when you switch over, always make sure you hit R to reload, because it is not going to reload it unless you specifically tell it to. Again, we're going to aim for this target high in the sky, and we can already see that they tend to be trending a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and switch over and see where these bullets are going in relation to the other ones. And I can already tell, guys, we can already see that the trajectory that these bullets are taking is going to be much farther than the other ones. In terms of where they're hitting and in terms of where they're landing, we're going to go ahead and see just what the difference is. If you remember where the other ones landed, it was a little bit over in that particular area, right where the snow was meeting the dirt patch there. And this particular grouping of rounds is now landing substantially farther in distance in terms of where those bolt-action rifle rounds were before. So before they were over, right over where the snow meets the dirt there, and now they are right over here in this particular snow patch. Again, a big difference, guys. So in short, you know, we're not going to beat a dead horse to death here. The high velocity rounds are substantial in terms of the range that they have, and that's something that you want to be aware of. They're probably worth it if you want to invest the gunpowder in them. I would say they're absolutely worth it. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the new rockets in the game. There are 3 different variations that you can have right now in terms of the rockets. There's the normal rocket that we've all known and loved. We're going to test that out. This rocket, guys, is the one that does the most damage, and we'll go ahead and we'll aim for the particular base down there. You'll notice that it didn't quite make it. We didn't hold the rocket launcher up, but we did aim with the sights right on where that base would be. Let's go ahead and switch over to a high velocity rocket and see if that makes any type of a difference in terms of where we're aiming on the base and where that rocket hits. We're still going to hold it dead center. We're not going to aim it up, but we'll aim it right at the base, and we'll go ahead and see that that rocket did make it into the base, and it did hit it. So that was definitely a hit on the base. So it doesn't do as much damage, but you can see that it did go ahead and make it a little bit farther than the other rocket without any manipulation of that rocket launcher. So the high velocity rockets, guys, definitely go a little bit farther. The damage is less. We'll test out exactly what those numbers are in a moment, but let's go ahead and test the smoke grenade. It says WIP right on it now because it is a work in progress. That means they're going to be updating it, updating perhaps the effects of it and how it looks. But we're going to go ahead and test that out. Now this emits a thick, foggy smoke that's going to make visibility difficult. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see exactly what that means for players. So guys, this smoke effect is one that stays around for a particular period of time, and it is very hard to see through. It's very thick, and you'll notice that the rocket stays here in terms of the sparking motion. So if you were trying to defend this base, you're not going to be able to see what's coming at you. The smoke is thick. When it dissipates, you can start to see through it a little bit, but it does linger for a bit of time. This is all going to change, guys. It is a work in progress, so the effects will vary. In terms of the smoke, it does not damage you if you stand in it, so you're not taking any type of damage from inhaling the smoke. I'm not sure if perhaps in the future there'll be some type of gas grenade or something, gas rocket that does damage health. But the smoke does tend to stay around for a bit of time, and it is very visible from a lot of different locations. So just be aware of that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to use. We're going to go ahead and test out the rocket damage now, guys. This wall is 500 out of 500, and we're going to go ahead and stand up on this ledge over here, and we're going to test it with a normal rocket loaded into it to see what the difference is. You'll notice the smoke is still in effect. That smoke lingers around for quite some time. And it looks, guys, like we launched another smoke rocket at it, so my bad, but nonetheless, we wanted to test out that damage as well. Let's see what type of damage the smoke rocket did to the wall itself. And it did 2 damage, and it looks like it flew through the wall. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch or exactly what's going on there. It didn't do shit for damage to the wall, but it did go straight through the wall and make a heck of a lot more smoke on the inside. Interesting to note that. So right now, guys, I'm not sure if that was a particular glitch this one time, but the smoke rockets, I guess I'm going to say, are not to be used for damage at this point in time, because it literally damaged the wall by 2 points. Let's go ahead and switch over to a normal rocket, and let's go ahead and test out the damage that does to that wall. Again, you know, it was 500. The smoke damage did 2 points of damage to that wall. Let's go ahead and hit it with a normal rocket and test that against the high velocity rocket. So a normal rocket hit the wall, guys, and it brought it down to 360 damage. So the normal rocket is going to be the most powerful of all. Let's go ahead and test it out with the high velocity rocket after we heal the wall up. And the wall's been healed up, guys. We'll notice that the smoke still lingers. So that smoke rocket is actually very effective at keeping that smoke down for quite a long time. We're going to go ahead and switch over to a high velocity rocket, and we're going to go ahead and test out the damage that did to the wall. We'll notice that the other rocket, the normal rocket, brought it down to 360 damage from 500. We're now going to do it with a high velocity rocket, which is going to move quicker and do a little bit less damage. So let's go ahead and test out and see what that did. We did heal the wall up, and that brought it down to 424 damage out of 500. So we can see that the high velocity rockets are not as powerful as the normal rockets, but they do travel a bit farther. Guys, while we're on the topic of guns, I just want to talk about what the guns of Rust. It comes up a lot, which guns should you use, and it really depends on your play style. So guys, we have the Revolver. You know, we've all used the Revolver quite a bit. We'll switch over to the high velocity ammo because we haven't actually tested that in the Revolver yet. And we'll go ahead and we'll take a look. The Revolver holds 6 shots, guys, has a very good sight picture on it, and it's pretty accurate. It doesn't have the greatest range, but it's a lot of fun to use, and I've had a lot of fun with the Revolver. The grouping on the Revolver is fairly consistent, it's fairly manageable, and in terms of the sight picture, it's a really great sight picture. A step up from the rocket is new custom submachine gun. It is a gun that fires off a lot of rounds, and it holds 24 rounds, so 4 more rounds than the Thompson. It's actually the second gun, the second best gun in terms of ammo capacity. In terms of the rate of fire, it has the fastest rate of fire out of any of the guns. And the grouping tends to be consistent at close ranges, but wildly inaccurate the farther that you go. Switching over to the Thompson, guys, the Thompson is also a very fast gun, a step up in terms of a little bit in terms of damage from the submachine gun, but a slower rate of fire. You'll notice that the grouping on the Thompson's a little bit better, much more consistent in the grouping than we had on this custom submachine gun. So the Thompson is more accurate, has a slower rate of fire and a few less rounds. We have the shotgun, guys, which is wildly inaccurate, and we'll go ahead and we'll just test that out. You can see the grouping on the shotgun is all over the place, but it's a lot of fun to use. The shotgun has a bit of a blast radius effect to it. In terms of the AK-47, guys, it is the second most powerful gun in the game and has the second best distance in terms of rounds. The grouping on it is very tight and very consistent, and the magazine size on the AK is actually the highest magazine in the game, so it holds the most rounds. It takes 5.56 ammo. You can see that grouping was very consistent. And then, of course, we have the bolt action rifle, guys. The bolt action is going to be the highest level gun in terms of accuracy. So it has the best accuracy out of any weapon in the game. It holds, though, the least rounds, even less than the shotgun or the Revolver. Very consistent. You can pretty much put your bullets in the same place every time with the bolt action rifle, and with the addition of the high velocity rounds, it's now actually deadlier at even greater ranges than it was before. So guys, I really hope this was helpful. I really enjoyed making this video. Phaedo 82, peace.